We're back. It's Joe. It's Airborne, attacking America, breaking out of hell.
G'day, how are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. Like I say, we go all the way back to the beginning. You guys are like shot out of a cannon at Mayhem.
Yep.
Never looked back since. I know it's a new label, new album, kind of new energy now.
Well,
tell us about the new moves.
Well, I guess it's just, like it's funny that this new album we did with Bob Marlette, who did our first record.
And he came down under.
He came down to Australia, so it's a first record recorded in Australia, but it's our second record with him.
Okay.
And then we had Mike Fraser engineering and mixing it, and we did all that down in Australia. So it's good to be back. We were here 10 years ago. It's kind of funny. Everything's this weird 10 years thing. So it's cool. Yeah.
Well, I know it's exciting to be alive and well, moving forward. You got a new team, with the label and everything. Now, going back a little bit, growing up, what was the first album that really changed your life? The one that you just couldn't stop playing?
Yeah, probably it would have been, I'd say, Razor's Edge. AC/DC Razor's Edge. That album I had when I was a kid on cassette. I got it for I think it was my 8th birthday. I can't remember actually what year I was when I got it. I just remember having
wore
the
tape out.
Yeah, I did. I wore the tape out, and I've actually still got the tape. It's at home,
really?
the old cassette.
Oh,
and I wrote my name on the inside of it.
Well, that's amazing. And then from there, what were some of the bands you got into besides AC/DC?
After AC/DC, then I got into Black Sabbath and Rose Tattoo, and a band called The Poor. They're an Australian band.
Yeah.
They're not super well known over here, but they did actually do a US tour with AC/DC. I think it was Ball Breaker tour.
Okay.
And I mean the Angels, all the Aussie pub rock bands. Billy Thorpe, the Aztecs. And then of course like Hendrix and guys like that, and the Who and Status Quo and Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden, a whole lot of them. Just got into everything. And sort of like once I got that little bite, I was like, wow, that just exploded.
Sure. So you actually came into AC/DC after the Bon Scott era, but
yeah, I did.
Now obviously you're pulling a lot from Bon. Bon was so important to the band. You know. What did you glean? What does Bon mean to you?
Well, so when I was a kid as well, so I had this AC/DC cassette tape, and then there was a video shop called Video Easy, and they used to have this VHS tape. It was called AC/DC Let There Be Rock, and I think they've redone it on Blu-ray. It's the one, the Live in Paris gig, and that was with Bon. And I was able to, even though I was just a kid and very little, and I had no internet or anything like that, I was able to work out that this was a different guy. And then I guess I did my own research. I think at school when I should have been studying, maths or something. I was in the library getting the AC/DC Highway to Hell book and finding out what exactly happened. It was real. Like you tell someone that these days, you go, "What? You read a book to find that out? You didn't go on Wikipedia?" But so for me, and then I found out about who he was and where he came from, and then with watching that VHS. The video, I was able to see interviews with the band and all these sorts of great things, and the guys, like he has this real. He's on stage. He's got everyone in the palm of his hands. He's got the guys by the balls, and he's got the women by whatever he's got them by. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like he's just got everybody, and it's just such a real class to him. And then for Brian Johnson to step in, it's like. The other greatest singer in the world. There's no other guy that could have ever done it. So it's an amazing.
So rare to be able to take it to another level.
And then he comes in and he does what Brian does. It's like fucking hell, what a band. So as a kid, I was able to go to the record store, Capricorn Records, and get I got the AC/DC Bon Scott box. They had a Bon Scott box.
Okay.
It had the yellow logo, and then they had the Brian Johnson era, which was a red logo, and that only went up to. Well, that only went up to Razor's Edge. Ball Breaker hadn't come out yet, so I got those two boxes, and I remember going to Ayers Rock with Mum and Dad and Ryan, and listening to it there. It was real rock and roll at Ayers Rock.
Well, I've had the fortune, I go way back, but I worked with the band on the Highway to Hell tour, and to watch them every night with, Angus getting on Bon's shoulders, and they were still playing little theaters, clubs, and it was so incredible, and obviously to hear the news just a few months later that Bon had passed, you're shattered. You have no idea if they could ever come back from that.
How old were you then?
I was probably about 18, 19.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. But I live to tell. Now I know, they've just inducted and put the statue for Lemmy next door.
I know, we were here a week ago.
Okay.
Actually, we were holed up here before we went down to San Diego.
Okay. So you saw the Lemmy statue.
First thing I did was when I walked in, I said, can I please get a Johnny Black and Coke and a Jack and Coke? And the Jack and Coke I left at Lemmy's feet, and no one touched it all night. It just stayed there. But you know, what an honour. You know, but it's. See, the funny thing was, 10 years ago when we were here at this very place.
Yeah.
The only real difference about this is you can't look out the window and see him playing pokies. You know, he was there like back then. So that's kind of another one of those 10-year things.
Yeah, but what a character! And I know he was in your video and all that. What's your greatest memory? What's your stories about Lemmy?
Well, look, the greatest one was when he did the music video for Running Wild. It was where he didn't want to be paid or anything. He just came down in the limo. That's all he wanted, was just he wanted to be picked up at the Rainbow, a couple of bottles of Jack, Coca-Cola, ice, and yeah, it was just he came down. The limo pulled up, and we're like, we never met him before or anything, and we didn't know what kind of guy he was. And then the window comes down, and out comes this hand with the rings on it and the ciggy and ashes on the road, and you hear this, "Hey boys," and we go, "Oh shit, we better go over," He goes, "Hello, I'm Lemmy," and we go, "Oh, g'day, I'm Joel, I'm Ryan." Like we know it's Lemmy, but we know who you are. But
sure, he had to introduce himself.
Yeah, and then he says, "Oh, do you want to come in? We'll listen to ZZ Top, and we'll have a few jacks." I was like, "Fuck, that sounds like a good idea," So say the director, we'll be a little while, and then because they were getting ready for him at this point for the truck and everything. So we went in and looked. 2 hours went by, and it was just he gave us a lot of good advice. He showed us some Motorhead demos that was coming up for the next record, and he just told us a lot of things and good stories, and we just sat there and listened to ZZ Top, and it was kind of like sitting there with like Johnny Cash is to the country music industry.
Yeah,
he's that for rock and roll. I mean, that's the only analogy I can think of.
Yeah, he's kind of like Yoda on the hill. You're just listening to the.
He's the whole thing. He is rock and roll, and to sit there with someone like that at such a young age and just. I was making him Jack and Cokes, and I used to work at a bar, so I was like, fuck. I mean, there was no scoop, and I was like, because they would teach you stuff about, responsible service of alcohol. I'm like, well, I don't think there's any responsible service of alcohol in here other than just make sure the glass is full. So it was just, boom, ice, Jack and Coke, half Jack, half Coke, I think with full ice. And then he said, how was it? And he goes, oh, it's bloody great. So, yeah.
Amazing stuff. We've lost so many of our icons, including Lemmy. So many in the past year, It's so important for us to grow the new ones, And I know you guys are bringing it hard and have so much, to offer. But what do you instill in the next generation? Because, like I say, to take over from Bon Scott and take over from Lemmy and all that we've lost, what advice do you give?
Never forget the ones we've lost. Never forget, the road that's been paved, and basically, and don't listen to what anyone else says about your band. Someone that doesn't know about your band. If it's someone who is respectful, like actually knows about rock and roll and what to do, then listen to them. If it's somebody who's a bean counter and wanting you to cut your hair or change your sound or something like that, just honestly tell them to get fucked. They shouldn't. Don't have those people around you. Only you got to be. The word is stubborn, and you got to have tunnel vision, but that doesn't mean you don't. No man's an island. We all need help. This fucking band's had so much help through its whole life. Like this is my experience, but I mean, there's so much help out there. But just don't take the easy way and say, oh, we changed our sound because they said we get radio. Don't do that. Yeah, you may as well just give up, because that's it's okay to say soul to the devil, but not to the tastemakers or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to blend in. You want to stand out.
Yeah,
take from the past, but go somewhere with it.
Yeah, well, I always say, I already sold my soul to the devil. He's already got it, so I'm sorry.
No question. And that brings us to breaking out of hell. When it came time to put this album down, obviously you asked Bob to come down to Australia. What did that mean to you, and what were your other thoughts as far as making what you hope is the next step, the best record for AIRBOURNE?
Well, I mean, it was we had the idea to do it, and because we went to Spine Farm, that allowed us to, I guess they gave us real free reign to do what we wanted to do on the thing. So
they asked you, what did you want?
Yeah, they said, how do you want to do it? And we said, this is how we want to do it. We've wanted to do it this way since day one, you know, to do it in Australia, an Australian band. We want to capture that Australian sound. Get the 60 hertz coming out of the wall and 240 volts in the guitars. It's a rare thing, you know. You can get power converters, but they don't really work. But so for the guitars, getting specific. But basically, it was. And they said, okay, cool. You want Bob and you want Mike and fly to Australia. Great plan. Let's see if we can put it together. And our management and the label, they all just made magic wands work, and it all worked. And then Sing we were down there. And that studio is going to be knocked down next year.
Is that right?
Yeah, which is a fucking shame, but that's the way it's going with everything. But so we're going to. So we said, right, we'll do it here, and we got it done, and it was a lot of fun.
So all the songs were written, all ready to go, or
no, there were
some improvisation in the studio.
Yep, there was improvisation. And some songs were written and they were just like bang bang, there it goes. And then there was some that we played and we were like hearing it back the first time. We're like, I think, you know, this needs a bit of a kick in the balls or something. It's not really rocking, or you know, I think the lyrics can be better. So you spend a bit of time, go away and do that. And then you know, the last song, It's All for Rock and Roll, was written the night before it was sung, which was like almost the last day, actually the second last day in the studio. So like there was that too, and you got to have that. Breaking Out Hell was written in the studio, the whole thing. Yeah.
So you had to shake it up. You had to get a little bits of all that. What songs are you most proud of? If you had to, you know, name the few that you know are going to sell the album, what do you got?
It's hard to do that because each one you treat like you know, it's like a child, you know.
Sure.
But like It's All for Rock and Roll. I love that one. And you know, there's a song there called Thin the Blood, which was about a big drinking weekend and then being hungover in the second verse. And Iron Maiden had come to town this particular day when I was having to sing it, and we tracked all the instruments live, and then I had to sing it. But I was hungover. We were all, Ryan and I was, but because we'd been out drinking with the crew, and then Ryan and I kicked on through the night. And then basically, so we tracked In the Blood, and then it was it was the next day was Iron Maiden playing, and we were all excited to see him. And Bob said, "Oh, you won't have to sing it tomorrow because you're leaving early for the gig." So I'm like, "Oh, good. Well, we got all the instruments are down. This is good, rocking." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna knock off now." He's like, "Where you going?" I'm going, "Where you going, man?" And I go, I was gonna go to Maiden." And he goes, you got 2 hours, you know. Like, I was like, oh fuck, okay, you want to have a sing? And I was like, oh, I'm pretty hungover, Bob. And he goes, yeah, but that's what it's about, you know. This is what it's method, you know. Look how they call method acting.
Yeah.
So you're in the zone now. I'm fucking hungover. So where I'm singing the line, hungover, Saturday morning, I feel like shit. Hungover as hell. Like when I sing that, I'm really in it. Sweating out the piss from the night before. And then, but that night, we went down to see Book of Souls tour, Iron Maiden, and got all the vocals done, and it was just like fucking yeehaw, you know.
So every time you hear the record, you think of
the
performance.
Well, yeah, just that whole day, that whole thing. But I mean, each song on the record has something around it like that. So yeah.
Well, I know your live shows have been historic. You know, I mean, climbing the rafters, busting the beer cans open. I mean, where did you get the inspiration for that, and how do you keep inspired to give it your all?
Well, the climbing thing was we did in Australia. We were a very unknown band, unsigned band, uneverything band, and we were on the bill, and there was on this same size, big stage actually, and they put us on at night time. We're like, oh, this is great. But then we found out why, because the stage next to us had a really big name band. So they really just chucked us on there, like to go, oh, well, we want them to play, so let's just put them there because it won't matter because everyone will still watch the other band. So it was kind of like a headline slot without a crowd. So, this other big band over there with all the Triple J play and stuff, they all got their big thing going on, and we're over there just with fucking no one, and then we had all our amps, and we had all the lights going.
Yeah.
Because they had the digital light stage, so it was all digital moving lights.
Okay.
So little gay lights, But we had the big fucking, the old par cans. So they got the pissy lights, and we got the big par cans going on, and basically, so we just said, look, let's just fucking pull all the gels out. And then I climbed up and I grabbed one and I pulled some of it out of the gel, and then I shone it onto their crowd and just kept fucking, this is in the middle of Girls in Black, and I'm going like this to their crowd, eyeing off all their audience, and then they're all going, oh, what's going on? And then that whole fucking field started to move, just dribs and drabs at first. They came over and they heard the rhythm, the guys are down there playing, and then as more and more coming, I started playing solo, and we're all going, and then eventually half the fucking field comes over, and then I come back down, and then we're playing, and then we got them all. So it was like, from day one.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
What's whatever it takes. And so it's, it's kill or be killed. And and so that was the climbing thing, and then the can thing. I used to smash them on my wrists. But I came off stage a couple of times, and there was some massive sort of deep cuts from the aluminium. Right, I got veins right there, so it's like. So I went, oh well, fuck. The hospital's usually pretty far away from these festival gigs. So I thought, why don't I just use my head? There's no veins up there. It's not really much anyway. It's pretty empty up in there. So I'll use that. So that's where that came from. Amazing.
Now, any hairy moments? Any scaffolding you climbed up that was a little rickety?
Some of them are. There was one in was it Poland? Yeah, I climbed up, and part of it came off like that when I got to the top, and it stopped. Like I went back like that, thinking, oh shit, I'm gone, and then it stopped, and I seen there was a garden hose just tied with 2 knots holding it. I'm like, a fucking garden hose, great. So I did the solo really quick and just scurried back down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's amazing. No, we love the band. Songs are outrageous. It's so great to have you back. Obviously, you're going to peel the paint off the walls at the Roxy tonight and take it to the world, You've traveled so many places around the world. Are there any countries yet to have experienced?
South America, the whole block.
Is that right?
Yeah, we need to get there.
South America is next on the...
We really want to get there.
Yeah.
Rio, Brazil.
I know they're going to be crazy for you.
Yeah, and we need to get down to Mexico as well. There's talk
so
about...
the whole Latin America, everything south of California.
We need to get down there. The trick is getting in. Getting in with all the gear. We don't want to go in with just guitars. We want to go in with all our shit. And then and there keeps being things coming up, like just roadblock stuff that's coming up, and every time we sort of get ready to go, and then something happens, we're like, fuck, we just want to bring the amps, we want to bring the fucking lights, and we want to give you a big fucking show. That's all we want to do. We don't need a stage, we'll fucking set up on the fucking ground. We just want to bring our big shit in. We don't do things half-assed. So when we do go, we're really going to fucking go hard.
Yeah. Well, I know they're ready for you. Brazil, Argentina.
Oh, no, they keep on our
Chile.
Facebook. They're always like, where's South America? Where's South America? And we're like, we're sorry, we know, we're coming. Just please, just wait, we're coming.
Can't
we're
wait.
going to come big.
Well, I know in closing, when we grew up, there used to be more record stores, more record companies, everything. But what advice do you give to the young bands coming up to not sit there and wait for a record deal, but work on your songs, work on your show? Don't wait for anybody. Go out and lead the way.
Well, that's what we did. We didn't sort of. It wasn't about getting signed or anything like that. At the first that wasn't like the first thing we wanted to do. The first thing we wanted to do was get out of Warrnambool, Victoria, in Australia. We wanted to get to Melbourne, and then we did that after driving down there so many times and playing gigs. At 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Supporting for half an hour and driving 3 hours home. But then we got to Melbourne, and then it was like, all right, well, we want to get overseas, And then but even in school in Warrnambool, in fucking like year 10 or year 9, Ryan and I were talking, going, we've got to get to the UK. We've got this VHS, this Donington. What is this Donington thing about? What's this AC/DC at Donington, Iron Maiden at Donington, and Metallica? Like what's going on over this side of the world? There's no Wikipedia, there's no fucking internet. So we find out and stuff. It was always about getting over to Europe and then getting over to the US, It was just about going there, not actually working out, that you needed a record. You know, in these days it's different. You know, with all Spotify and all those sorts of things, but vinyl sales are fucking right up. So you do need to make a good record. You really got to care about your songs because people are going to buy the vinyl, and they're going to want to hear it. They're going to want to be rocked. You know.